Hi everyone, my name is James. Welcome to King's Fine Woodworking. Before we jump into the video, I just wanted to mention that we are having a big sale on our Thor's Hammer woodworking mallets. You see us use these every day in our shop, and we make these from exotic species from all over the world, as well as several domestic species. Right now they are exactly half price, and you can use the coupon code that we've created. It's called Half Price 2020, all capital letters and all one word, Half Price 2020. And there's a link in the description below that will take you to our website, and you can enter that code at checkout to get these for 50% off. It's not only our way of saying thank you, but it's really the way that we kind of help support the channel all throughout the year. Okay, so let's hop into the video here today. What I want to do today, just a real quick video, just a few minutes long, is I want to show you how to read a tape measure. You might be surprised, but I receive a surprising number of comments from people who really don't know how to read a tape measure. And obviously there's lots of you out there who can, no problem. This video isn't for you guys, but there's a lot of you who can't, and that's perfectly normal because before somebody took the time to show me, I couldn't do it either. So I've got a close-up of a tape measure here. I'm just going to do a quick breakdown. It'll take a couple of minutes, and hopefully it makes some sense, and you don't have to say, when you're calling out a number or remembering something, one little tick bigger than half, or two ticks under 3 inches or something like that. So see if you can follow along with what I'm doing, and hopefully it's some help to you. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in here to this thing, make it a little bit bigger, and let's take a look here. So first thing I want to talk about is the big lines here. You see these big lines, the longest lines here, obviously these are the 1 inch marks. That's obvious. Then the next biggest thing that we have is the 1/2 inch mark, and that's going to be right here in the center. And I'm just going to write here, that's a 1/2 inch. Hopefully that's big enough for you guys to see that. Maybe I'll zoom in even a little bit bigger. Okay, so after the 1/2 inch mark, we have these guys here. These are 1/4 inch marks. Okay, so from the 1 inch mark, you come over to this first one here, and that's a 1/4 inch. And of course, all the way over here, we all know probably that that's, whoops, let me get rid of that guy. Okay, we know that that's probably 3/4 of an inch. And in the middle is half. Well, another way to say half is 2/4 of an inch. So we count these like this. So we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So that's how we count inches in quarters. Hopefully that makes some sense. And then let's jump to the next biggest line. So you see, I started at the biggest line, the next biggest line, next biggest line. Next biggest line down is this guy. These ones here that I'm underlining in blue. Okay, so these are going to be eighths, which is 1/2 of a quarter. So the first one is just 1/8 of an inch. And the next one over, the next one that's big, is going to be 2/8. So we can count in eighths. The next one is going to be 3/8. And the next one is going to be 4/8 of an inch. That makes sense because 4/8 is a 1/2. And go back 2 steps, 2/8 is a 1/4, so that should make sense. So after 4/8 we've got 5/8, and then for 3/4, of course, that is 6/8. And then the last one here is 7/8, and I could get crazy here. This one was, of course, just 8/8. That's the next inch mark there. And I forgot to put these little inch tick marks, but I think you get the idea. So we can actually count in eighths. Let's see here. We have 1/8. 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and 7/8. So these are the ones in blue. The ones that are underlined here are the eighths. Okay, so now let's jump to, let's jump to another color here. All right, so the smallest tick that we have is this guy right here. I'm going to mark these, and you can see that these are the shortest. In fact, if we draw a line all the way across, these are the shortest tick marks that we have on a standard tape measure. And these, of course, are, whoops, it keeps happening to me, there we go. These, of course, are 1/16 of an inch. And we can count all the way up in tick marks just the same as we did before. From 1/16 we're going to go to 2/16, and 2/16 is the same as 1/8. And then we go to 3/16, and then next we would have 4/16. And 4/16, 4 parts of 16 is the same as 1 part and a quarter. And then we have 5/16, and then here we have 6/16. And 6/16 is, of course, if we cut that in half, we can see that's the same as 3/8. And here's 7/16. And this one here, I'm getting very crowded here, but I'm just going to make a note. This is 8/16. 8/16, 8 is half of 16, so it's the same as half inch. All right, then we have 9/16. Whoops, 16ths. And then 5/8 is, of course, 10/16. Here we have 11/16. And this would be 12/16. So 12/16, 12 of 16, that's 3 parts out of 4, which makes it the same as 3/4. Then we go up to 13/16 and 14/16. And 14 out of 16, if we cut those numbers both in half, we can see that's the same as 7/8. And finally 15/16, and we reach the whole again, that's 16/16. So any of these numbers you can actually count by the actual number, just count up by 16ths. If we want to deal with these shortest lines here, these guys, these are 16ths, and we can just start at the beginning, and we have 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, 5/16, 6/16. And then just do some division whenever necessary, like here. 4/16 is 4 parts of 16, so that's a quarter. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Okay, so just a couple of quick examples to help you come to the number that you need quickly. So just remember, if we kind of look down along this arc, that the biggest one in here is a half. The next biggest is a quarter. The next biggest is an eighth. And the next biggest is a 16th. So we can kind of remember that. So if we have a measurement that's here, and we want to know how big that is, we can quickly know, so we don't have to say 1 tick mark past half. We can quickly take a look, and we see that here's the half-inch mark. And we can remember, we can first of all take a look and see that this guy is the shortest line. So it's a 16th, okay? So this is 1/16. Whoops, here we go. 1/16, that's past half. And a half is the same as 8/16. Okay, so if we have 8/16 added to 1/16, that just makes our measurement 9/16. So it's real quick. So we look at our measurement, we see that it's a 16th mark, and we know that half is 8/16, and we just add a 16th to it, and we get 9/16. So this measurement here is 9/16. And sometimes it's even easier than the last example. For example, let's take a look at, I don't know, this guy right here. Okay, so we know because of the altitude of this particular one here that that's an eighth. And we can kind of look all the way across here. We can see these marks are all in the 1/8 zone. Eventually you'll learn this. The biggest tick is half. Next is quarter. Next is eighth. No big deal. You don't have to memorize it right away, but eventually you'll become used to that. All right, so we go here. So one of the quick things to do is just use the big ticks. So we have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, and this guy is 5/8. And 5/8 is a number we're all familiar with, and so that's it. We're done. We just counted up by eighths. Now, I did count the bigger guys, so that's an eighth, and I also counted this quarter as an eighth, because anything bigger than the eighth we can count as an eighth also, because it is. So this is 1/8. This is 2/8, which is, of course is a quarter, and this guy is 3/8, and this guy is 4/8, which of course is also half, and this guy's 5/8. So sometimes we can just count up by eighths, no problem. Okay guys, last one I promise, then you can go back to having fun doing something else. All right, let's pretend that we want to know this guy right here. Okay, so hopefully you kind of remembered that that's a 1/4 inch, that's half, and that's 3/4. These are on the line of quarter there. And so this guy, he's short of this by this amount. And we can look and we can see this is the shortest tick. You probably at this point don't necessarily have to draw a line all the way across. to see that that's the 16th inch level, you could just know that the shortest tick is a 16th. All right, so we're going to start with 3/4. Well, we have to subtract a 16th from it somehow. Okay, so 3/4 minus a 16th is what we need. Now you need to remember that 3/4 is the same as 12/16. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 3 times 4 is 12. So we're not going to think of it like that. We're going to think of it like that. So we have 12/16 minus 1/16, and that, of course, is 11/16. And that's the answer. This guy right here is 11/16. That's the hard one, because we had to go backwards from one of the ones that we knew here, and we had to do some converting to realize that 3/4 happens to be the same as 12/16. I hope that makes sense. And that's going to wrap that video up. If you guys liked the video, please hit that subscribe button down below. That really helps us out. Thanks for watching, and have a Merry Christmas.